Do you want to go to a Japanese language school? Well, then you've come to the right place. My name is Johanna and I'm currently enrolled in Fukuoka Foreign Language College, a Japanese language school in southern Japan. Today, I want to share with you some useful tips and things you might want to know about going to a Japanese language school, what it's like, and what you might have to think about before coming. So, without further ado, let's get started. How do I choose a language school? Well, there are two things you need to figure out before deciding where to go. The first thing you need to figure out is where do I want to study? And the second thing is, how fast do I want to study? There are many kinds of language schools in Japan. Some are more focused on just conversation and your schedule won't be that busy. And some schools are very focused on tests, passing the JLPT, study for the JLPT, and even the EJU test. And you will get a lot of homework and won't have as much spare time to do other things. You should Google the schools, look up reviews, and check the location. Check what kind of education they offer and decide from that. One website I want to recommend is Gogo Nihon. Gogo Nihon gives you a lot of information about a few selected language schools in Japan. They tell you what the level is like, what the study pace is like, and what you can expect going to that school. Is there a good lobby? How is the staff? Do they speak English? I really recommend this website for anyone who's looking for a language school to fit their own needs. One thing I really like about Gogo Nihon is that they do show you what kind of level the school is at. So from a scale to 5, some schools are level 2 or 3, which means that they are more conversational and focus on conversation and speaking, and not as much about heavy work like writing, and they don't give you a lot of homework either. Some schools are ranked 4 or 5, which means that they have a higher study pace, they will give you more homework, and you will have to focus even more on school while not having as much free time to do other things. How do I apply? Well, one way to apply is just to go to the school's website and contact them directly. The way I applied is by using Gogo Nihon. Gogo Nihon, again, is a great website for you to find a language school that fits your needs and a location that will fit your personality and maybe the kind of environment you want to live in. I already knew that I wanted to study in Fukuoka, but I contacted Gogo Nihon and they helped me through all the applications, the paperwork, they answered all my questions and were very fast at replying as well. So I had a very smooth application process with them doing most of the heavy work and me just filling out papers and sending them the information that they needed from me. But yeah, if you want to contact the school directly and just apply from there, just go to the school's website and they will have an application form for you to fill in. What are their requirements? Well, applying to a language school is very different from applying to a university or even high school. You don't need to have good grades or a lot of credits to get into a language school. You just need to show that you're over 18, that you don't have a very tough criminal record, and that you have the economy to be able to pay for your stay in Japan. What about language requirements? Usually the schools won't ask you to know anything since you're going there to study the language, but some schools might ask you to learn hiragana and katakana before you come to the school just to make it easier, smoother, and faster to get started studying when you come to the school. How is it in the beginning? Well, coming to Japan to start studying at a Japanese language school gets pretty busy even before school starts. You need to prepare a lot of things like opening a Japanese bank account, getting some kind of phone contract, and also making an income. Also, you will need to get a lot of cleaning supplies and other things that are necessary for your move to Japan into your new apartment or your dormitory room. So even before school starts, you get pretty busy. When school starts though, you kind of forget about all the stress and all the things you have to do because it just gets so fun, you learn so many things and there are so many new impressions and things to learn in the beginning, which is awesome. What language is used in class? Just Japanese. At my school, and probably many other schools as well, the teachers don't even speak that much English, or sometimes even zero English. In class, the teachers always teach Japanese in Japanese, and if you have any questions, you have to try and form a Japanese sentence to ask the question to them. Of course, this might sound very scary for you if you don't speak any Japanese at all, but these teachers are all professionals and they know what they're doing. Don't worry, you will get used to it pretty fast and soon discover just how effective it is for your language learning. One thing to point out though is that they do use English in some of the textbooks we use for translations and stuff like that, so it's not like it's completely in Japanese and no English at all. It's just that with a teacher, you cannot speak English. How big are the classes? Well, it all depends on what kind of school it is you're going to, but the classes can range from anything from 4 to 5 students up to 20 students. My class is currently 15 students. What about the average age? I'm 22, which makes me one of the youngest students at my school. At my school, we really have students from all ages, everything from 19-20 up to 36-37. But I would say that the average age is somewhere in between 24 to 27-28. I think that most students at my school is in between that age range. How much homework do you get? Well, this completely depends on the school. If, like I said before, you choose a school with a focus on conversation, you will probably not get that much homework and the workload won't be as heavy, while some schools that are more academically focused will give you more homework and more things to do. I found that the students at the beginners level get a lot of more homework with vocabulary, but I mean, you're in a language school, you want to learn, so homework is a good thing, right? Okay, let's do a few more questions. Will you prepare for the JLPT? Yes! Yes, 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 yes. One of the reasons why many people choose to come to a Japanese language school is because they need to pass a certain level of the JLPT test. A lot of Japanese language schools focus a lot on the JLPT, and especially during the months leading up to the July test and the December test, there's a heavy focus on JLPT. You do a lot of vocab drills, grammar drills, and listening comprehension, reading comprehension practice, just for you to sharpen your skills in order for you to be able to pass the level that you want to pass of the JLPT. Many schools also have a mock exam about 1 month before the test starts for you to be able to see kind of where you're at and if you need to study more or if you can feel kind of safe before the test starts. I'm not planning to talk that much about different living options in this video, but I would like to briefly talk about living in a dormitory versus living in an apartment. I personally think that living in a dormitory, at least for the first half year of your stay in Japan, is the best thing to do. It can be very hard to find a Japanese apartment when you're living abroad, hard to sign the contract, and just see if you actually like the apartment or not. If you choose to live in a dormitory connected to your school, the school will prepare everything for you and the only thing you need to do is just pay in advance. Dormitories are also great for making friends and for the community. I came to Japan and moved into my dormitory about 5 or 6 days before school started, and on the day of the opening ceremony, I already had so many friends that I'd made just by living in a dormitory, hanging out in the lobby and talking with people. Okay, to finish this video off, I have a few random facts or things you might need to know or want to know before coming to a Japanese language school. One of them is that if you already know Japanese, if you have experience studying Japanese from before, and are coming to the language school with some language abilities already, you might have to count on studying things one more time that you already know. In my case, when I started language school, Japanese level of the new students, some students were graded kanji, some students were graded speaking, other students were graded listening or reading. We all had different strengths in our Japanese abilities, which meant that some of us had to study kanji we already knew, some of us had to study grammar we already knew, just for everyone to be able to get up to the same level. So that's something you might have to think about, that if you come to Japan with some language skills already, you might have to study something you know one more time. One last thing I think you should know is that Japanese language schools are very strict with the attendance. I would recommend you to never be late and never skip school. Of course, it's a different story if you get sick, and that won't affect your attendance rate, but if you skip school or are late for some reason, the teachers and the school will be very strict about that, and that will show up in your attendance score that you will get at the end of every semester and every year. So just be careful about that because they will not compromise for anything. Work, travels, nothing. They're very strict with the attendance, so that's something you should probably know before coming to Japan. That was a lot! Oh, my leg. There are of course even more things you might want to know about going to a Japanese language school that I didn't touch upon in this video. So if you want to ask me about that, please feel free to leave a comment and just ask about anything that I might be able to answer. You might also have noticed that I do appear in some other videos about my school. So if you search Japanese language school in Fukuoka or Fukuoka Foreign Language College, you might be able to find me in some of those. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you want to know more about what it's like going to a Japanese language school or what it's like living in Japan. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!